A question that people often ask is, what's the difference between deep tissue massage and your work? So, structural integration, which is the work that I do, is often deep work. I'm working with a lot of people who are in chronic pain. Often they've had tests with their doctors and they can't figure out and they've been to multiple practitioners. So deep tissue massage is not as focused on getting structural change. Structural changes for us are some of the most, they provide clear evidence that, that there's been a significant change in the deep tissues. So it's not just about receiving deep tissue work, it's about the results that deep tissue work has. It's similar to the sun being out, right? It's the middle of winter here right now, and the sun is out. But that's very different than in the middle of summer. And so in both cases, there's light out, you can see things, it's clear, but in the summer, that sun is beating down directly on you. Its light penetrates throughout all of the existence in a way where streams are not flowing in the same way. Rain is minimal. And sometimes the heat has penetrated everything so much that everything else is radiating that warmth as well. And so it's not just the sun's heat alone, but that heat has become so infused in everything that everything is giving off heat. It's very different than in the wintertime when you're hoping for that sun to peek out just a little bit so that you can feel the warmth and get away from the cold. So with our work of structural integration, our deep tissue work is much more thorough, complete, and intentional. Intentional meaning that we are looking for real structural shifts in alignment. And almost everybody, when they receive the work, that's one of the first things they'll say when they get off the table, is not that just, I feel relaxed or I feel looser. Structural integration is how to create systematic, organized, and thorough release of the deep tissue structures that chronically hold tension so that now function and structure give a person a totally different experience. It's the difference between a person who slouches and their back muscles have to do all the work to keep them up, rather than when those muscles are eased up, not just the muscles of the back, but all throughout the system are eased. So that's what I'm talking about in a systematic way, right? Deep tissues starting to ease from a perspective that sees the body, that sees the tension, not just as tension in the back that's creating a slouch, but also tension of the muscles of the front of the body that are creating that contraction. Because we can do a lot of work on the muscles of the back and get them to relax. But if the muscles on the front are still contracted, then there isn't going to be a freedom and a lift in the body. But we might feel good in the back for a short period of time. So in structural integration, we look at the whole, and we have a path to change in every session that we do. And that makes clear differences, and it makes for more lasting change. When the brain and the nervous system feel a systemic change, that speaks different to our central nervous systems. Our brains begin to change because they're experiencing something totally new. It's like when you go on vacation, it rejuvenates you. It refreshes you. When you come home to a new place, a seemingly new place, right? Your experience of that day in and day out is different. And this is what it's like to experience structural integration. So, it's a blessing to be a practitioner of this work, because so many times people know that they're not stuck because some of the therapies that they, do on the regular are helpful, but often just temporary. But as long as therapies can make change, even if it's temporary, that's a sign that when you connect to a practitioner of structural integration, who on top of that also can inform you about the neuroscience of pain and the neuroscience of change, then you've got a really good formula to be able to get out of your pain. So I hope that's helpful in trying to help you understand why structural integration is different than just deep tissue massage or even sports massage. It often makes very lasting change and can get people out of very severe predicaments, even if it has been years. And I have a lot of people who come to me who say, I love running, but I haven't done it for years. Every time I go out for a run, my pain comes back and it's almost debilitating. Usually that doesn't need to be the case. And you don't want to wait for that to happen, because every time we exercise, all we're doing is we're strengthening our imbalances. We're strengthening those areas of our body that ultimately we need to understand, and we need to be able to downregulate all that, all those neural signals. So anyways, not to go on too long, but again, I hope that that's helpful in just starting to give you a sense of how structural integration is different, how medicine evolution is different than the majority of practices you see around. Go ahead and click on the link, schedule a 15-minute phone call, and let's talk on the phone and see if we're a good match. Thanks.